and Justin's just being weird. Why are you wearing this hat, by the way?
It's celebrating, dude.
Celebrating my 1 year out of the Navy?
Yes, it's a celebration. I gotta fucking hang on. Let's put on the party lights. Hang on.
Let's see.
Let's see if I can't even find the fucking thing.
To our listeners, if you are just listening, you should go to YouTube and look at these lights. But disclaimer, they're flickering. So if you have any type of medical condition that can be triggered by flickering lights, do not watch the Coffee Time video.
So pretty much my wife and kid don't watch this video.
Jesus Christ. Just terrible. Turn that shit off. All right, hey, welcome everyone back to CoffeeTime Podcast. It's Thursday where we quench your thirst for knowledge with a question. On Mondays, we ruffle some feathers, we grind some gears with Justin Hot Podcast news segment, and it was pretty, you ruffled some feathers this Monday, or last Monday, but, and we're being removed from YouTube steadily, but hey, whatever, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
Because this Thursday, let's quench that thirst of knowledge and with a question. So today's theme is I have been, what's today's date actually? It's the 16th. So in 3 days, you'll get this on the 18th. But this upcoming Saturday on the 19th, it will be my 1 year anniversary removed from military service. Getting out of the Navy. And I've got a lot of questions through different members of military that I came in contact with, from E1s to E7s. Honestly, it's a little shocking that for advice to get out or what you should do before you get out. So we've compiled 10 of those questions into a document. Justin's going to read it back and forth, and we're just going to fire. So if you're looking to join, this can be beneficial to you. If you're, I say 18 months to 6 months of getting out, or if you're indecisive, this might help you. I don't know. We'll see what the questions are. And hopefully I can give you good, sound answers here. So right. You just want to go?
Yeah. So one of the questions that was sent to us. So why did you get out of the Navy instead of re-enlisting and enjoying shore duty? Like, that's kind of the difference between me and you. You just got out. I re-enlisted and got to shore duty. So what made you not want to re-enlist and just enjoy the benefits of going to shore?
Okay. It's a really great question, because there's a theme in the Navy where you work for your shore duty, right? You deploy for your shore duty. Shore duty is your time to really get acclimated back to the civilian sector of the world, because you're home all the time. There's no deployments. You basically have a 9 to 5, and you get to see your family every single day. So I feel like for people that have families and that are not sure what to do post-service, you should probably take advantage of shore duty, because the benefits that you get and everything from shore duty of just going home every day, seeing your wife, seeing your kids, seeing your husband, is incredible. Because you're in the Navy, you're in the military, but you're not deployable. You're just doing a job, a simple 9 to 5. Sometimes not even a 9 to 5. You go in for 3 hours, or you sometimes just go in for a watch. So for that, I would say I would have did shore duty if I would have had a family to support, to like really guarantee some more concrete things. But for me, with the rating that I had and everything, it was too big of a risk. For 5 years I participated in a life that I didn't want to be, and I had to put a mask on the entire time to be successful, because you have two options. You can either, pressure makes diamonds, or it breaks people. And I chose to be a diamond in this situation and just use that pressure to influence me to make more money, to maximize my paycheck within those 5 years. And I didn't want to take the risk of another ill command. So I had the option of going to shore duty and having other people in control of me again because of the military, or getting out and basically doing my own civilian shore duty where I can go anywhere and everywhere and I don't have to request anything. So that's why I didn't go to shore duty.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. Because I know you had the opportunity to possibly be a recruiter. Wasn't that like on the
Yeah.
table for you? Shit like that.
So
Yeah.
recruiting came up because of you know how like they want evals and blah 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 blah,
Hmm.
right? Good supporting sailors to promote the Navy. Thank you for even bringing it up. I wasn't even gonna say it. I cannot lie. I would have been the worst. I'm gonna fill some water up here. I would have been the worst recruiter. I would have told them not like there's a lot of great things that came from the Navy. Like I met a lot of great people. I met you. I wouldn't call you great, but you're something.
Oh, okay. I'm something.
You're something. But to the fact is, there's a lot of things like you know you always hear like what your recruiter lied to you about that got you in, right? Um, I wasn't going to lie to be a recruiter, so I was like, I can't not against my ethics be a recruiter. You know, that was the
Yeah.
thing. And the only reason I considered the recruiting thing because it was at a shore duty where or an area, Portland, Oregon, which I would have been loved to live there for 2 to 3 years. But as we see now, man,
Yeah. Not
I made a
anymore.
good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, because we talk a lot about the military and we talk a lot of shit every now and then. But is there anything that you actually miss about being in the military?
Okay. Do I miss anything in the military? Fuck yeah. Okay. So I'll keep it brief and simple here. So for the service members that are looking to get out and you're wondering, am I going to miss anything here? You will. You'll miss the camaraderie of going to work every day and seeing your coworkers, but it's not a coworker when you're living on a boat together and you're in pain and you're suffering from these long hours of flight operations or spec operations or like C operations or CQs and whatever or whatever operations that everyone is engaged and dialed in to complete a certain task. You find some solace in that like everyone's suffering, everyone's up and you like forcefully, but like you don't even realize how close you get to those individuals, even people that you just cannot stand. There's this camaraderie and this togetherness, and it's like us against the task at hand. And there's some individuality there, but it's mostly just a team effort. So you miss being engaged in that team effort. I missed the structure. I didn't even realize this until I got out. The structure of getting up, having to be at work at a certain time, finishing my day at a certain time, having to structure myself to work out at a certain time. So you get a little lost in the sauce of freedom in a way. And you realize, well, I realized that I am a creature of routine and I should just apply what I learned in the military there. So camaraderie and structure. That's the two things that I miss the most.
Yeah. Real quick, I think I froze. I'm not entirely sure how I am on your end.
No, you're good.
Oh, I'm good on your end. Okay,
Yeah.
you're frozen on my end, so just let me know whenever my camera shuts off. Um,
Okay.
yeah, sorry about that.
You're fine.
So, you mentioned earlier, because I asked you why not shore duty, and you're saying, if you want to support your family, it's a good benefit, everything like that. So, for those of the people that aren't going to re-enlist, and they still have those families, or they still have some certain responsibilities, as far as financial, how much money do you think someone should like set aside, or at least have like available to them whenever they're just getting out? Because I know when you just get out, it's hard to find those jobs. It's hard to kind of reintroduce yourself back into society. So, how much money or what advice would you give to those people?
Okay, so this was a big question, a huge question actually. For I got a lot of this. I got a lot of this. Over this question was asked about more than 50. I think more than 50 times. In the case of money, this is what you have to look at. You really must. How do I want to go about this? It's not about the money that you save. It's not about the money that you can make. It's honestly the money that you spend. You
Hmm.
can have $10,000 in the bank, which is, for some that's a lot, for others that's not a lot, depending on your spending situation. I could have $100,000 saved in the bank, but if I'm averaging spending 30 to 40,000 a month, who knows? This is a very broad example, a very extreme example as well.
Yeah.
But that means I only have 2.5 months of secure funds before I go dry.
Hmm.
Instead, let's take that $1,000 or that $100,000 and budget down to like me and my family are only spending around 3,000 or let's say 4,500 a month, and now you can see how much that stretch. So the question should not be how much money should I save. You should question how much money are you spending.
Hmm.
Now you can go and practice frugality and everything like that, and make yourself upset and make your wife or husband upset because you can't enjoy some fine things in life. You need to do it in moderation. Just cut back on some things that are more wants in a way, and then definitely satisfy all of your needs first, but then allow those wants to come in. So there's not a number. I had a number and I achieved that number. But shortly after I got out, 2 months out there, I was partying, spending, wilding out and everything. And I realized that it's not about, this whole additive of it, whatever. Like, it's not about how much you make; it's how much you spend. It's true. So don't focus on saving money. And focus on saving money. It's good to save money, but really, the cornerstone of a great financial plan. We use these words budget and everything like that. Okay, there's a billion different ways you can budget. Just really look at what you're spending and then focus on getting that number down, but also allowing yourself to achieve happiness with spending less and saving more. But I wouldn't even worry about saving money. I would just try to revamp how I'm spending money. So that's my answer to
Yeah, don't be like me and buy an RV that you used once and now you
that.
are $15,000. Anyway, so actually, something that I had thought about because I've had friends in the past that have gotten out, and they always tell me about the VA, and they're always talking about how bad it is or like the hoops they have to jump through in order to get their benefits or get help from the VA. So, what was your experience with the VA, and what advice can you give to these sailors that are getting out and are about to be introduced to all that?
Okay, so before I got out, I was reading a ton of like Reddit forums and everything like in threads, and I was looking at for advice about healthcare because I've also heard and been told that the VA healthcare is just a fucking joke. They don't care about you. The wait lines are insane and everything like that. So I was looking at this, and there was a common trait that was happening with everyone. It was always based on disability claims for compensation, not medical care. These are two
Mhm.
different things. So, for medical care, the first thing you should do as a veteran, the very first thing you should do is go apply for VA healthcare and look at if you're a premium, basic, advanced account. Because it saves you, like, you come out, you don't have to worry about getting a job for medical insurance because the VA will cover you if you do a certain amount of time in the military. So that's your first objective. You need to people when they review the VA for their actions and how helpful they are. They're talking mostly from a compensation disability mindset, where like my disability compensation claim got unapproved. I didn't get the percentage I wanted, so now they're just gonna go fire and brimstone. The VA's fucking terrible.
Oh, okay.
It's not. It's not. The VA healthcare system, for me, what I've experienced has been just grand. It's been amazing. I email through My Healthy Vet and I get an appointment. And even through COVID, they've been so intuitive and with virtual healthcare, and then sending kits out to your house if you need something, or sending you to a private location for labs and everything. So the healthcare system has been great. Now, let me talk to you about disability compensation claims here. And this is why the VA gets a bad rep. Yes, it's a strenuous process, but anything that you're applying for to get to be awarded money or compensation for will always be a sensitive subject, because
Mhm.
in your mind, someone is messing with your money and everything like that. They're telling you, no, you can't feed your family. No, you can't have that car. No, you can't feed yourself. I'm taking food off of your plate. That's what a lot of people in their minds get. In my opinion, the majority of people that are struggling with this disability claim, because I have an approved claim, and it was a very easy process. But I tell you this, and like not you, Justin, but like the
Yeah, the
proverbial
people who,
you,
yeah.
like everyone, the people that are writing those reviews, and I'm gonna go on record saying saying this, that the majority are liars. They are trying to snake the system and say I have this, this, and this, and this, and then when a claims adjuster comes up and be like, okay, well, we need to prove this, we need to prove this disability claim, we need to prove this. When did this happen? And they start asking questions, and they're not just like, yeah, we believe you. Check, 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 check. You are 100% or 80% or whatever disability rating that you're striving to be. They get mad. They're like, why are you asking all these questions? Why are you taking food from my plate? Why are you not allowing me to game the system?
Hmm.
So a lot of people that leave bad reviews, and I'm going to say the majority, they are liars, and that's why you see those bad reviews.
Okay, fair enough. This question kind of goes back to one of the originals, but I guess it's more like of your personal thing. It was how do you know if you're ready to get out of the military? But more along the lines like, what made you realize like it's time for me to get out? Like I know you talked about not going to shore or whatever, but what was the moment that made you think, okay, it's time for me to know that this isn't the career path I want to choose for the rest of my life. It's time for me to do something different.
Well, so for me personally, and I feel like the listener or viewer is asking that question for me, right? Like it says you as in, or is it in
Yeah.
general?
How do you know when you're ready to get out of the military?
All right, first I'm gonna answer how did I know, and then I will try to generalize an answer for you.
Okay.
Okay, the listener. So I have these tattoos. I don't know if you can see them if my camera focused, kinda, but it says a man chooses, a slave obeys. And I'll repeat that one more time. A man chooses, a slave obeys. Now, you can go to the extreme and try to really like nitpick that quote or that saying, stating that well we're all slaves because we have to make choices. We obey orders and we don't choose everything. That is true, but I look at it like this. In the military, I had to put on a mask each and every day, like I said earlier in the podcast, to just basically function in a way, like to to allow myself to get up and go to work, and I was just not in a great headspace.
Mhm.
So I think around year, so right before no, after the first deployment, I knew I was going to get out. 100%. I saw how the Navy operated, and I felt like I was coming into, like, when you see in the movies that the military is so structured here and there. There's a ladder that you need to climb. There's no prejudice or racism or favoritism and everything like that. And we both know that all of that shit is for the birds, bro. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
You have to play the favoritism card, the political games. You have to know people. It's just, dude, the Navy was once a military, had a military structure. Now it's just high school times 10, and
Yeah.
I didn't want to associate with that. And and people say, hey, as you make rank, things change. It just gets worse, guys. It just gets worse. That's what I saw. People can have their own different opinions, but that's why I got out.
Okay.
Didn't want to associate myself with that lifestyle, and I feel like if you're in the Navy, and this is no this is just my site, you're a slave to another man's opinion the entire time. And if you get out, you can start making your own path. Now, how do you know if you're ready to get out? You have to I think you need to question a couple things. Um, Financially, are you secure? Now, I feel like I said earlier that you shouldn't save money, or you should just focus on what you spend, not what you save. And I'm going to stand by that, and I will not walk that back. But if you are in debt and you do not have a job lined up to pay for your debt, you probably should reconsider or extend. I feel like everyone should be debt free out of the military. There's a lot of people that try to live a lifestyle of glare and I have money because I'm in the military, and then next thing you know, you're $50,000 in debt. I've seen it a ton. Justin, I'm not picking on you. You've just made a little bit of some
I,
errors
I
with your
made
money.
mistakes that I have to learn how to deal with, and I'm drowning, but I'm starting to come to the
Yeah,
surface.
you're better. You're better now, for real. Because at one point, we're not going to talk about it. Hey, your camera went off, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, I got it.
But you should really look at your debt to income ratio and make sure that you're basically bare, like you have 6 months left of payments left or zero debt. I'm gonna stand by that because debt is so stressful. And guys, you're gonna the emotions that you feel when you get out of the military. It doesn't matter how prepared you are. Look, it's gonna suck. It's going to suck. I was so prepared, and I went through the fucking helix of struggles, and then I finally got back on my feet. So with that, and if I would have had debt with that, oh my god, it would have been bad. So no debt. Um, Focus on look at what you're spending, not what you're saving, and honestly, just like consider your headspace. Like you have to understand, like, oh, man, am I actually happy doing this? Because when you're in the Navy, it's not a job. You're working towards a career each and every day because you're
Mhm.
contracted out for 4 years if you're lucky. 5 is the kind of average now, and 6 if you're in a specialty. So it's a career. That means if you do that math, if you have a 5-year contract, you only re up what? No, 3 times because you enlist, then re-enlist 3 times, and you're 20 and you can retire. So it's a career. So if you're happy with it, continue. If you're not, you probably should reconsider some things.
Yeah, for sure. And because you got out a little bit before COVID had happened, like
Yes.
you got out December 2018, right?
No, no, no.
I mean,
December 2019. December 19th,
oh yeah,
2019.
yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I'm way back. So, if you would have known about the potential impact of COVID-19, would you have made the decision to separate from Navy? I've been told by certain sailors opted to extend 1 or 2 years because of the pandemic. What did COVID kind of make you think? Oh, maybe I should have changed my mind. Maybe I should have extended. Like, what's your thoughts on that? Really?
Oh man, this is okay. If I had the foresight to know what COVID was going to do to this world and shut it down and make us look like cowards and weak, and shut the economy down and probably throw us into some economical depression soon. Um, that's a good question because I was making a lot of money in the military.
Yeah.
For me, oh, that's a really good question. So there's this thing going on with COVID. This is how I'm gonna handle this, where people are trapped in their house alone and they're lonely, they're separated from the world, they're separated from normalcy. And what I've been told was happening in the military, sure they have adjusted to COVID times, but there's still a bit of normalcy there.
Mhm.
So for the mental headspace, I have to think about my headspace of being in the military and my headspace out of the military in COVID. And I felt like honestly for me, um, being in the military was worse, and so I would have still got out. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of things to consider with that question, though, because unemployment is crazy. Let's say you had this full plan to go work for this company and everything like that, and then you have the offer letter for your pay structure and everything like that, and there's not a pandemic clause there, so the company goes under during the pandemic and you're let go. So what what plan do you have now? I think that should be respected. That opinion should be respected, and I could definitely understand sailors that got out around the same time as me saying that damn straight I would have extended a year or two or would have re-enlisted for a 4 or 5 contract because the impact of COVID must be respected, and I understand that. But for me, I would have still got out.
Yeah.
I don't think the Navy would have let me out though.
Yeah. They
You know,
probably wouldn't.
I don't think so. Like I've actually heard some people being extended mandatorily because to get out of the military, you have to pass a medical waiver exam, which is a fucking joke. They just look at you and be like, okay, you're good. But if you have something like seriously wrong with you, then you have to stay in the military until you're fixed or healed to a certain degree, and then they'll let you go because they can't release you fucked up, which they release a lot of people fucked up.
Yeah.
But I've heard things that they won't let they're extending you because of COVID paperwork, blah blah blah, la la la, stuff like that. But I would have got out. I would have got out still.
So when you were getting out, what was your headspace on like that final week? Like, what were the thoughts running through? Like, was it more like, oh, I'm ready to get out this bitch, or were you just kind of like reminiscing, like, like this has been my life for these past like few years, like it's gonna be so weird. So what was your headspace? Because I know whenever I left, it was all rushed, but I was still in the military. But I was like, man, like I'm not gonna see these people probably ever again. Like they're gonna go their separate ways and everything like that. So for you, that's completely out. That has no ties with the military. What was in your head?
Hmm. My last week was it was tense. I should say there was a bunch of emotions that wanted to leak out, but I didn't allow to leak out. Nothing like sadness or whatever. I was more excited, but I didn't want to blow my wad in a way, or like what I'm saying, blow my load, homie, too early, and then like fucking cuss out this chief, and then next thing you know, I'm extended or I'm on restriction for 30 days.
Yeah.
All seriousness, I was very numb. I was very numb. I was very controlled. I was very steadfast. Like I was typical Palmer, honestly. I remember Bradwell pulling me aside. He's like, "Hey G, you okay? You just you should be acting this way and acting that way because he's been in the Navy for like, what 14 years and he's seen
Yeah.
so many people leave." And I was like, "I'm cool. I'm calm. I'm collected. I just want this to happen." But um, let's advance to my last day in the military. In we see and we read these awesome articles and books, and we watch movies of people reminiscing and they're having flashbacks and everything's great and everything's just fun and purpose. And I was approached by our two first classes at the time. They're like, "Hey, you should write a speech or you should say something encouraging, even though you don't think these sailors really would really appreciate it, but they will. So you should do it." And I was like, "Okay." So I wrote this like nice 4 or 5 minute speech, and then I was gonna ad lib everything, not ad lib, just improv everything else at the end of it.
Mhm.
So my last day, I wake up, go work out, hit the sauna. I'm in the tower at 4:30. We muster at 7, dude. So I woke up early as fuck, like 3, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm trying to like allow myself to feel the end is here. I'm like, it is over with, it is done. But I didn't have the moment, dude. There was no flashbacks. There was nothing. There was just me in Air Boss chair, looking out the window and wondering when I can just walk off this fucking boat. That was it. So like I didn't get any of those butterflies, any of those feelings or nothing. It was just me sitting there. And at that moment I decided I'm like, I am not gonna say no damn speech. It's over with. So we had quarters, they all circled around me and I was like, nah, no comment. I don't have anything to say. And I walked off that damn boat and that was it. There was no hoorah, hooray, there was no pictures taken. I just literally shook Chief's hand and walked straight off because I already had my DD214 in hand.
Yeah.
So,
Do you still have that speech?
huh? I do. I actually
Bro,
should have brought it up.
bro,
Um,
okay. Maybe not this podcast, but a future one. I need to hear that fucking speech, homie.
I could tell you. Okay, a future one. I
Okay, a
actually
future.
can remember a little bit of it.
There's a couple more questions, but they're kind of redundant because they've already kind of been addressed in the
Okay.
previous questions, at least feelings. So the last question that they ask, with everything that you just said about the military, with the ups, downs, everything like that, the struggles, the things we've seen, favoritism, whatever. would you do it all again?
Fuck yeah, I'll do it. It's so important. I think I come from a I come from that ideal where I feel like everyone should do at least 2 years. You should serve your country for at least 2 years, and then we'll have a bunch of woke fucking people not as woke. It-
Oh,
like I really feel like that, honestly,
yeah,
because yeah, we know what the military can produce in
yeah, yeah,
masses. They can produce a bunch of fucking just trash ass people that
yeah.
abuses the system. But for like every three bad sailors, you get one really good one. And I feel like that's a fair ratio, honestly, from what the people that we worked with and worked for. So there's this sense of yeah, I would do it again. Because like I have to think about where I'm at now with certain things that I'm awarded for being a an honorable veteran and everything. And I say that an honorable veteran. Not a lot of people are honorable at all.
Yeah.
They get kicked out, and they're like, "Oh, they try to pull that vet card." I'm like, "Yeah, but you got kicked out for doing drugs. You're you did not complete your contract. Like, how
Yeah.
dare you call yourself a veteran?" But anyway, that's a whole nother rant that I can get on. But no, I would do it. I would do it again. I would do it again tenfold. I would if it was my hill, I would be happy that it's my hill because I would meet certain people that has influenced certain things in my life. I would I think I met like two to three like eternal friends.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say their names because other people will get salty. But some
My
eternal
ass better be
friends,
one of them. Just saying.
huh?
I said my ass better be one of them. Just
Hey,
saying.
we know my boy Nick's on there though. Who? I love you, brother. Thank you. But I would not say the other two. But I think everyone definitely would know. Like, oh, he's talking about Nick for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah. I
Justin,
mean,
but we don't know. But yeah, I would do. I would do it again. It's very important. It's allowed me to see things. Not even like a lot of people are like travel this and travel that. Oh my God, the Navy is gonna allow you to travel and see everything. What the Navy did for me was what I did not have in high school, or I didn't go to college because I went straight to the military. Was it opened my mind to the difference of opinion and culture, and where people that grew up different and they never seen like a black person, they never seen an Asian person. It was just this melting pot of just everything, like of culture, where there's like, whoa, we all have to work together. We all
mhm.
have a similar task, and that camaraderie where it's just like, oh man, you're from Nepal? You're from Nepal? Tell me about that. And what how their culture acts and how I act and how we talk and all this other stuff. I enjoyed that most of just being not woke, but allowing it to allow me to mature into a better person. But that can also be turned into like some people are just racist fucks, and they just turn into a terrible person, which we've seen a lot in the military,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
we saw a lot of that. We saw a lot of good. We saw a lot of bad. To the point though, like whenever I look back at my career on my old command, and it made me kind of do things differently at my new command. I always was like, man, I should have done so much better, but because of how because my career is different than what my brother because my brother is also in the military and he loves it, like he loves Navy. He wants to make it a career, and I'm like, hey, good on him. And my mom always talks shit, but I'm like, my career and his career are completely different. What I've had to go through is different for what he had to go through, and everyone has those differences because there's some people that want to be lifers, they love it, they live, breathe, and eat military. But there's some to where it's just like, this wasn't for me. I'm gonna do my time. I'm gonna make the most of it and get everything I can from it. But this just isn't for me. So if I were to do it again, I would try doing it better with the knowledge I have now. And I've taken that to where I am now, to where I'm being more involved. I'm trying to learn the new things. I'm trying to be an expert in my area to where people can come to me and ask me the questions, or if there's a new person, they can look to me to be like, hey, I'm going to show you how to do this correctly.
Dope. I'm so proud of you. I'm so
Oh, shut
proud of
up.
you. It took so
I
long
just
for
need
you
to
to
get out
get
of
there.
that.
So, closing statements for me. Um, and this is for mostly people that are not looking to join, but are definitely, podcast was definitely about getting out. This is one thing that you need to consider: new beginnings and things that are comfortable. So, in high school, and Justin, thank you for asking me about that speech. This was in the speech, by the way. It's not the whole speech, but this is the ending. In high school, everyone is most everyone is coached into believing a false insecurity that you have it all figured out. Once you graduate, you're going to go to this college, you're going to do this, you're going to do that, and then you're going to get married and blah blah blah. Your life has ended basically because you have this canvas, this blank. I wish I had something, but this blank canvas that you're holding up, and you're trying to get the approval of everyone that saw you in your high school career. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go to this college. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna marry fucking Jane Doe, John Doe, whatever, and then boom, 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 we're done. It's a lie. In
Yeah.
high school, ask yourself right now, you the listener, you the viewer, ask yourself right now, what I planned in high school, after I graduated, is that how I ended up right now? Am I still on that road? If you say yes, you're a fucking liar. I'm sorry. You don't have a picture that you've constructed. You have a canvas that you need to paint your future on. And for the sailors that are getting out, you're going to experience this feeling at this time when you get out. You're going to try to tell people that you have a plan, that you have this and have that. And sure that you've got accepted to a college, you're going to move here, you're going to move there. You have a plan, but you don't have a picture that's completed. You need to get away from that mindset. It's not completed. Keep painting and everything. Yeah, you're going to mess up here. That's going to be your trials and tribulations. Put some mountains and some valleys because you're going to have up and downs. Just don't lie to yourself and lie to someone else saying that you have it all figured out because you don't. Now, to end this podcast here and the ending of the speech, you're going to be presented with two palettes of paint. You're going to have something that is familiar, that paint and these brushes that you've used. You know these tools, you know the where to put the colors and everything else, and you're going to be presented to with a new palette. My advice to you is there you could choose a new path where you can build something, or you can stick with what's comfortable and attempt to make it work. I chose the new palette, and I'm drawing my future. I didn't want to be comfortable anymore. And that's ultimately why I got out of the military.